Whoa! Look at that!
There's a big fish.
Oh my God!
Well, this is going to be kind of an unusual show. About 25 years ago, I got a phone call from some folks that said a friend of theirs was involved in a very, very bad accident, and he was in the hospital and looking to die. He kind of lost his will to live, and I was his hero. Would I please just call him and see if I could cheer him up? Well, I called him and talked with him a couple of times, and I guess got his head in his thinking turned around, and I told him he ever made something out of his life and did the best with what he could, with what he had. When he got back on his feet again, I would take him fishing. And that's been 20 or 25 years ago, but he's going to be able to get out of that wheelchair and into my boat on his own 2 feet. And we're going to take him fishing, and George Nitty here, who owns Hunter's Point from Mille Lacs, a good friend, and George are going to go with us.
Hey,
Come on, David.
Dave, how are you?
I'm good, sir.
Thank you very, very much for all the inspiration. You really changed my life.
Well, I'll give you something to think about. I think you must have inspired yourself.
Well, I think you inspired me. That really, it takes a little push sometimes, but I tell you, I love you.
Thank you. Let me see you get on your feet. Can you do that?
I'm gonna get on the boat. Yep, and I can do this. I'll just transfer down to here. I better lock this down or she'll be in the drink. That's happened to me many a times, you know.
Well,
Here, watch this.
between
Just
the
give
two
me
of
my
us.
hand there. Wait.
I want to pull us out of here. We'll string all those rods and we'll get them rigged up.
This is so exciting.
Because of its truly inspirational fishing, I chose Mille Lacs Lake and Nitty's Hunter's Point Resort as Dave's reward destination. Are you ready, Mr. Coon?
Yes, sir.
And to really wow him, George Nitty and I made plans to fish for both smallmouth bass and walleyes over the next few days.
Quite a pop.
Yeah.
With the calm, sunny weather that we're having today, we began on rocky Mille Lacs Lake structures, seeking quick success on recently spawned out trophy bass.
There's one. Oh!
Already?
Yeah. This is my first cast. I had a really bad accident at work. I dropped close to 5 stories. Whoa! Landed on my feet, and it was like 2 hand grenades going off in my body. My legs were blown out, my spine was blown out. Oh, that's great, babe. All right. I couldn't move. I was pretty much a quadriplegic.
First cast, he says.
Oh yeah, right now.
First cast.
Immediately.
Right now.
Look at that. The following morning, Monday morning, I'm laying in the hospital. Of course, I can't move, and my girlfriend was sitting with me.
I think that was just destined to
Look
happen.
at that. Isn't that beautiful, babe? Check her out. And answered the phone, put the phone by my ear, and a fellow on the phone goes, "Hi, Dave, this is Babe Winkelman." Got him, babe. You knew it.
Feels like a pretty dang good one to me.
It really raised my spirits. It gave me some backing from somebody that I really looked up to.
They're so incredibly fat for their length that just amazes me. That's probably only a 16, 17-inch fish.
Babe gave me the encouragement that I needed and told me that when I got well, and I would, he said, "You will, believe you will. And when you do get well, you're gonna come fishing with me, no matter how long it takes." Oh yeah, baby.
Just think, Dave, if your friends back home could see you now.
If they only could. Actually, during those 20 years, I was able to start with a couple other people. All righty.
Nice fish.
The Madison chapter of Fishing Has No Boundaries. And 7 years ago, I was able to help start the Milwaukee chapter of Fishing Has No Boundaries.
Any place you go, that's a nice smallmouth.
This year, we're going to be in our 7th annual year. In Madison, this year will be the 20th annual event.
Got him?
Man, that is a big fish.
Oh,
Bigger
boy.
than before.
Take your time.
All right, that's bigger. We've been able to help thousands of other disabled persons, and that has become my passion. Not just fishing, but helping other people.
Oh yeah, it's a pig.
And giving them encouragement and letting them know that no matter what their condition is, no matter what it is, you can do whatever you'd like.
That's a beauty.
You can work, you can volunteer, and I think volunteering is one thing that really helped me get through it all, because helping other people helps you.
There you go, babe.
Oh yeah, that's what we're looking for.
George, isn't that pretty?
That's a big fish.
What do you think about that?
There's one.
Fish?
Yep,
Oh, good boy. Dragon?
dragon, yeah.
Continuing now, the thing about early season Mille Lacs smallmouth bass is once you narrow the pattern down to jig and grub or tubes on the deep side of rocky structures,
Small one.
you can seriously be into some fast action with giant bass. There we are.
All right, a nice one.
And boy, were we. Look at that. I mean, that's bigger than most female smallmouth get.
These fish on Lake Mille Lacs are huge.
That's a double hander, babe.
He's keeping the pressure on you, it looks like.
When you hook
Oh,
into one
yeah.
of these smallmouths, it's like hooking the bottom of the lake, and then it starts moving and pulling away from you.
That thing hit like a little kid. Whoa! This is a big fish. Look at, there's another one right alongside of it.
Really?
This lake is the best big trophy smallmouth lake.
Oh, jeez.
The size of the fish and what's here is incredible. See, this fish is only a little over 19 inches.
Oh my God.
I'll guarantee you that fish over 4 pounds. We didn't get in on any of the big females. They'd all left the shallows. But still, we caught males to 5.5 pounds. Imagine the fish 3 or 4 inches longer than this, how much deeper.
Jeez.
And they're here.
Babe, what do you think is the best way to work this type of tube? Is it
Vary it. I mean, if you're doing one thing for half an hour or whatever, and you haven't had a bite, do something else. I mean, if you're sliding it, hop it. If you're hopping it, jump it, snap jig it, drag it, you know, etc. That's a big fish.
That's a big fish.
There we go.
You got one? He's got a big one.
Is that a horse? Oh, it's a very good fish. Need a hand? You got him.
On which side?
Dave, you get
On this
around that
side?
boat remarkably well back there. Good netting job.
I'm not gonna miss anything again.
You all know me. It's almost inconceivable to quit on a smallmouth bass bite like that. But next morning, knowing the abundance of walleyes in Mille Lacs, it sure made making the switch a whole lot easier. Nothing like a crisp morning after a cold front. Unquestionably, this lake is one of the greatest walleye factories in the Midwest, and nobody knows it better than George Nitty here.
We'll start at the boot, and we'll go over to Seguchi's if we have to. Hit a few of the flats.
What we're going to be doing today is live bait rigging walleyes. There's no insect hatches or anything going on right now, so the fish are pretty tight to the bottom. And it's going to be a matter of doing a lot of graphing, just trying to find the tops of their backs laying in the mud.
There we go.
And working them very slow.
Do you use a worm blower on these?
No. Usually what's happening right now is the fish are laying on the bottom, so they're hugging the bottom. And so we don't need to float above.
How do you rig that on there, babe?
Put it through the nose.
Just, okay.
You're gonna just slide down the edge like they're doing?
I'm going to try and hold it in 31 to 32 feet.
Okay, Dave, set
Yeah.
your line right on this side.
Just drop it.
Just drop her down there. There you go. What I like to do, well, because I'm using crawlers, I use my finger and leave the bail open.
All right.
There we are.
All right. We gotta get that net out. We got one on here.
Oh, crap! Darn it, that was a pretty nice fish.
I got one.
Got one going? Oh,
Yeah, I
there
got
we
it.
go.
Oh yeah, that's a nice one. Oh, that's a nice fish, babe.
is it?
Yeah.
Seems to be concentrated right exactly on the top side of the edge.
All right, that's a nice walleye. Oh yeah.
The flats are shaped like so, and then they have an edge, might be steeper, might be curved a little bit, goes down to the bottom and goes like so. And we're trying to work right exactly on that top breaking edge.
How about that? Huh?
Nice fish.
That's a beautiful fish. Yeah, hey.
Another nice fish up.
Well, how high up do they come, babe?
Oh, they'll sometimes be way up off the bottom. These fish are only a foot or so.
So
But
come-
they're They're up off the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here's another fish up. This one's up a couple feet off the bottom.
Oh, I got him.
I'm about ready to switch to a leech.
Oh, nice one.
This is David's trip, isn't it?
Yeah, this is Dave's trip.
That's the way it's supposed to work, George. But there is
Oh, that's
nothing
a
wrong
bigger
with the
fish.
host catching a walleye.
Oh, I love that double head shake. Thump, thump. Check that out. Huh?
Beautiful.
Babe.
You guys were both a little higher on it that time.
Hey, Mr. Host,
Sir,
put me on him.
I will. I will. Well, you know, it's always the same thing, George, and you know it as well as I do. You got to figure them out. You got to get a pattern going. What depth are they sitting at? How do they feel about things? What do you got to do about it? Oh, good one. I like it when the rod doesn't move much when you're swacking like that.
Tell me when you want me up in there.
Well, a little bigger shoulders on this one.
That's a good thing.
There he comes.
How big is that?
24, maybe, no?
Yeah? We're doing what we call control drifting. Boat control is an art that people have got to learn. How to position your boat under any circumstance to give you maximum opportunity to catch the fish. That's what boat control really is.
Well, you're really good at it.
Oh boy.
Clinic day.
This one's making me grunt a little. One thing about these Cabela's gold reels, they got really good drags. It's a nice fish. Oh, he's kind of wrapped up here. The bite was tough
yeah.
for walleye, so it was nothing
That's a nice
explosive
one.
to it at all. It was grind it out, work hard at it,
That's a
That is
nice one.
and just really fine out working out the flats. On the turn again, they just bumping it a little bit, not hitting it very well.
There's a bite.
But that's part of fishing, that's what it was, and Dave learned a whole bunch.
Oh, yeah.
It was just exciting to fish with him. This one's not moving so fast, George.
Let's get one of those big ones.
This is not one of them. But it's a gall darn good one.
Nice fish, real nice.
Oh, yes.
They're nice fish.
Yeah, how's that one? Well, it's about 20 after 6. Bright sunshine, gorgeous day.
It's a nice calm night.
Oh, it's a beautiful night to be out rig fishing, soaking crawlers and leeches and seeing what we can do, just live bait rigging. Nothing fancy, just effective when it comes to walleyes.
There's one.
Good man.
Oh, this is a heavy one. Well, seems that way to me.
Could be an eater. All right, nice fish,
All
Dave.
right. Isn't that beautiful? Babe, he got one. Babe's got one. It's a doubler. Go ahead.
This one just slammed it. Here he is. Nice fish. What do you think, George? I think he's about 20 or 21.
I'm gonna go 23.
All right,
The one I just had was 20 and a half.
perfect.
Let her
Thanks for the help, George.
You're welcome. Right there, 22 3/4.
There we go.
Got another one.
I'll tell you what, it surprises me with Mr. Coon back there. What people wouldn't realize when they see him in the boat here is that he lives in his wheelchair.
Yeah, well, he lives in that wheelchair, but he knows how to fish.
He does know how to fish.
Thank you.
I have found that out. As a matter of fact, I think, George, he's learned that meat hog trade fairly well already.
Yeah.
Well, boys, we have given it an A for effort.
And again, thank you very, very much. All of you.
Okay, are we ready? Homeward bound. Now, get your bearings, babe. There you go. Here he comes. Here's a true Yeti story. After a Florida trip last year in 100-degree temperatures, We filled the Yeti with frozen hogs, fish, and a turkey for the taxidermist. And I'll promise you that'll keep these ice cold. After driving nearly 3 days back to Minnesota, everything was still frozen solid, including the ice. In another brand cooler, all the ice was gone and the meat had thawed. Valuable lesson learned. Fact, the Yeti is superior with its fat wall construction, permafrost insulation, and cold lock gaskets. Fact, other companies build coolers that are basically disposable. Yeti overbuilds every cooler for a lifetime of dependable performance that protects the precious fish and game we harvest for our families.
Tell you what, if you want them fresh, put them on ice in the Yeti.
So Yeti, from your portable Roadie 20 cooler to the giant 100-gallon Tundra 420, thank you for building Yetis the way coolers were meant to be made. The Great Taste from Chris's Kitchen, brought to you by the Great Taste of Johnsonville Sausage.
Welcome, everybody. You know, I'm asked a lot by people who don't fish about great dishes they can make with store-bought fish that'll turn out as well if they were caught fresh. My answer to that, nothing ever tastes nearly as good as the fish you catch yourself, like Babe did at Mille Lacs on today's show. But that doesn't mean there aren't some good alternatives for fish you can buy. Smoked salmon is about the best example in my book, because unless you're gonna smoke it yourself, it's something we all have to buy. That is, if you wanna make the yummy salmon cheese ball that I'll be showing you today. And trust me, we do. Okay, I'm starting with a bowl of smoked salmon that I've already broke up and flaked. I'm adding cream cheese. That's at room temperature. I'm just gonna start mixing this up. And then I'm gonna add some mayonnaise. And we're gonna add cheese, of course. You have to have a salmon cheese ball with cheese in it. So I'm gonna mix all that, and I'm gonna add green onion, Dijon mustard, capers, lemon juice, salt and pepper to taste. Okay, now this is the fun part. I'm gonna add some of my dip. Then I'm gonna add some walnuts. So when they cut into it, they're gonna have a nice crunch. And now we're gonna add the rest of it. Just simply wrap it up. And you're all ready for the refrigerator. And I would do this for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours before you're ready to serve it. And just like that, our scrumptious smoked salmon cheese ball is ready to serve. I'll take note of how pretty it looks now, because I know after everyone digs into it, this will never look the same. Try it.
Having the opportunity to get out on the water with Babe was the best. It was a total dream come true. I wasn't sure I'd ever get that opportunity, but when Babe told me I was going to be able to do that, I worked really hard at making sure I was going to get well enough to be able to do that. And I went through a lot of therapy for many years, both physical and mental therapy, you know. Because I did have a lot of post-traumatic stress from the accident.
Oh, that's great, babe. All right.
Not to mention not being able to move my arms and my legs or even lift up my head. I finally healing enough to be able to get out on the water and get on a boat with Babe was unbelievable how much fun it was.
Dave, the pleasure was all mine, and I know George feels exactly the same. Thanks so much to Nady's Hunters Point Resort for hosting us and making Dave's dream come true. Hunters Point is the place to go for year-round fishing and vacationing on phenomenal Mille Lacs Lake in central Minnesota. You'll find a protected harbor giving access to all the fantastic fishing opportunities this amazing large lake has to offer. Full marina services, comfortable deluxe cabins, a fantastic restaurant and lounge, some of the best professional guides in the state, launch service, and everything else you could possibly need. Look them up and start making plans to fish with them today. So I guess to wrap it all up today, I'll just reiterate what an amazing sport fishing can be. Clearly, it's an endless source for fun and fulfillment that's capable of motivating people in so many ways. Indeed, fishing does have no boundaries, and Dave Kuhn is the perfect example of that. I'm Babe Winkelman. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, everybody, hey, good fishing.